Hello, welcome to the weather update. It's almost 10 o'clock on August 18th, and we had a bit of a very wet morning, early morning hours, some strong thunderstorms that hit parts of the area. But then you can see that was accompanied by this cold front, which is now offshore, and we've got the cooler air coming out from Canada, but you'll also notice some smoke here that we'll probably eventually get into from all these wildfires in western Canada. And, of course, here is Hurricane Hilary, which was a Category 4 for a time today. Yeah, it's quite incredible to see this storm, and here it is again, just really incredible. So this is our cold front right here. I guess we'll start locally. Let's look at the satellite loop here, and you'll see we did have some passing cumulus clouds. Dew points dropped throughout the day, and by late afternoon, it was very comfortable. Again, we had partly sunny conditions, so you can see this what it looked like outside. It was actually almost could have been to the Pine Barrens if the dry air came in a little sooner, but it really didn't start feeling better until later on, like after 3 o'clock or so. But we did have these puffy cumulus clouds. You could see blue sky, so it wasn't all that hazy. We'll have to see if we can get this blue sky tomorrow. You can see, though, we did have a pretty looking sky out there across the day. You can see this is like a cloud. This is what you call a cloud street. This was taken in Wandsworth, and I think there's a cloud street. This is what you call a cloud street when clouds form lines like this. That's what you call a cloud street, which is kind of interesting. And as the sun was going down, it was pretty nice too. You can see bright sun. Don't see much haze at all here. Maybe it's very slight amount. But all in all, very nice late afternoon into evening. With much more comfortable dew points that were in the area. So let's go take a look at our. Let's see if they. I don't know if they put the rainfall totals up here. They did not put the rainfall totals because some areas it seemed like got a lot of rain. I noticed quite a bit of ponding in certain areas. So let's start off with the local weather, I guess. So you can see already we got all this excessive heat. Watches and warnings for the Midwest, red flag warnings for places like Montana, Idaho, and yeah, look at that, a tropical storm watch for Southern California. How about that? That's a first. Special wind advisory for certain areas. So really, very, very interesting what's going on. But let's first start with our weather, and we'll take a look at what our day was like again. You can see. Going to Islip now. It's 72, 2 points down to 52, west wind. So let's look at that. So earlier on, we were in the 80s today, so we got to the low 80s. So close to normal with the temperatures. But you'll see the dew points earlier on were kind of on the high side. We had mid-60s, but they were dropping. We had partly cloudy conditions here for much of the afternoon. And you can see the dew points really started to drop once we got after 4 o'clock. We had the dew points in the 50s. So very comfortable out there. Very nice. And what a difference from the humidity last night, which was pretty high. So let's go look at the high temperatures first of all. And you can see highs generally low 80s across the area. Maybe a few mid-80s in Jersey. Lows probably didn't drop off that much because, again, tonight will, though, but generally upper 60s for lows. Let's go look at the rainfall, because some areas I think got a decent amount of rain. We have to make this 24-hour rainfall, so let's see what we got here. Oh, yeah, some areas did. Nothing for southern New Jersey, but central Jersey, some areas got over an inch. Looks like we have LaGuardia getting 1.57 inches of rain. Central Park got 0.74. Almost an inch here in Mineola. And heading east, Babylon, 0.20. I'm surprised because it seemed like there was a lot of ponding over there. 1.0 seemed like there was a lot more rain. I guess it looked like there was a lot more rain than there actually was. I don't know. We'll get some more observations here in a moment from the Wonderground Network. But let's see, 1.12 in Old Brookville, 1.03 over an inch on the North Shore, over an inch in Smithtown. And over an inch also out on the North Shore around Port Charlotte. Well, no, that's 3/4 of an inch around there. But then as you go east, not much rain. So it kind of fell apart there. So let's go to the one. Let's go back to the station plot here. And first, let's look at the weather that's going on across the country. You'll see Look at these nice 50s off to the west. This is nice air coming in. And again, as you go into the Midwest, this is where the heat is building. Right now, it's not too hot, but you see the heat in Texas there. And again, we have the heat also out, and there's red flag warnings as well out in the Pacific Northwest. I don't think it's as hot, but notice these winds, 85 degrees with a dew point of 15. That is not good for wildfires. And we have a lot of really bad conditions in British Columbia right now for wildfires. Here, Kamloops, for instance, 75, the dew point's 28, and a gusty northwest wind. That is not good at all. So there are a lot of fires raging in British Columbia because of these dry conditions. And Yellowknife has been evacuated. In fact, much of the Northwest Territories has been evacuated. Let's find, let's see, 57, 52. At least the dew point's a little higher there. It's not quite as bone dry. I got to find Yellowknife here. Here's Yellowknife. So 57 at Yellowknife, 43 west wind. At least it's not too windy over there, but they're still watching that fire, and that's why they've evacuated the whole town of Yellowknife. It's the capital. It's a city, actually. I'm not even call it a town. 20,000 people. So that's pretty significant. But now, let's talk about Hilary. That's the next thing that we got to talk about here. I don't think we have any observations from that are close to Hilary. All right, we have a few here. Here's a few. So this island here, 78 with a dew point of 77. That is tropical. Southeast wind at 32, gusting to 51. Let's see, we got 40, northwest at 40 miles an hour. Northwest wind to 29, gusting to 40. Relative humidity 3%. I don't think that's possible. Something wrong with that thing. Nothing as far as giving us wave heights right now. So let's get to the Hilary right now. The latest statement on Hilary from the Hurricane Center. Latest public advisory here. So outer bands from Hilary spreading onshore over southern portions of Baja California. Pretty large storm, actually. Life-threatening and potentially catastrophic flooding likely over much of Baja California and southwestern United States this weekend and early next week. As of 6 p.m., its location 19.1 north, 114.4 west, about 95 miles west-northwest of Socorro Island, about 310 miles south-southwest of Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Maximum sustained winds are 130 miles an hour, moving northwest at 12 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 948 millibars, 28 inches. That is deep. That is deep. So we have a hurricane warning now in effect for Baja. We'll put the map up so you can see that. And again, faster forward motion is going to be expected Saturday night to Sunday. And the center of Hilary will move close to the west coast of Baja California Peninsula over the weekend and reach Southern California by Sunday night. Actually, it is a Category 4. My mistake. So max sustained winds are 130. I didn't realize 130 is a Category 4. So Hilary is a Category 4 hurricane. My mistake. Again, I'm sorry for the mistake here. Hilary is a Category 4 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Fluctuations in intensity are likely through tonight, and weakening is expected to begin by Saturday, but Hilary will still be a hurricane when it approaches the west coast of Baja California Peninsula Saturday and Sunday, and Hilary is expected to weaken by a tropical storm by late Sunday before it reaches Southern California. I wouldn't be so confident on that. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 50 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 275 miles from the center. An automated weather station on Socorro Island has measured peak sustained winds of 47 miles an hour with a gust to 79 miles an hour today. The estimated minimum central pressure is 948 millibars. Again, that's 28 inches. That is really deep. So, yeah, it is a Category 4. Did my mistake. I kept thinking it's 120 is a Category 3, but it is a Category 4, and it could still become a Category 5. Let's go to the map right now because this map is something else. Let's go here. Look at this. So it's heading right for Southern California. Just crazy. It's going to brush on Baja, and then that's where the hurricane warning is. You see that hurricane watch north of there, and then a tropical storm watch. But I wouldn't be so sure about this not being a hurricane when it gets to Southern California. We're only going by history. Remember, you got to throw history out the window right now with those warm waters and the climate change we're going. So it just because you're in Los Angeles or San Diego, it's like, we're not going to get a hurricane warning. I wouldn't be so sure of that right now. It could always be upgraded. And again, this is something that does not happen in Southern California at all. That's, it just does not happen. So let's go to the satellite loops and look at Hilary right now. And here she is. Or maybe it's a man's. I don't know. Because it's just one L. No, it's got to be a woman's name. But I'm familiar with Hilary with two L's. But I'm pretty sure it's so-called refer to her as a she. And she's got a big eye, too. This is another thing we see a lot of lately due to climate change. The eyes of these storms are just getting bigger, and they're just getting bigger in general. And you can see here, looking at Hilary right here, quite an impressive-looking storm right there. Really symmetrical eye. It's got the classic buzzsaw look, which is not a good thing. If when it comes to a storm heading for land, and this thing is heading for land, and for Baja California also, it's going to be absolutely devastating. It's a large storm. Hurricane force winds extend outward quite a bit. So let's go to tropical tidbits. We're going to look at some more information here. Current storms. We're going to look at Hilary. And here is the enhanced satellite imagery of it. Look at that. That is a big eye. So that is a really, really big eye. Look at that thing. I mean, that is, you can see this storm it looks like it's trying to intensify further. It would not surprise me if it could reach a Category 5. It may come close. But it is a Category 4 hurricane barreling toward Southern California and the Baja. I didn't think that would come out of my mouth. Maybe one day we're going to talk about hurricanes heading for Greenland at the rate things are going in the not too distant future. Maybe just 5 years from now at the rate things are going. I mean, but anyway, yeah, this is pretty crazy. Let's go to the spaghetti models. So look at some of these spaghetti models here. So we're going to first look at the spaghetti models. You can see it looks like it's going to brush Baja, and then I think San Diego is really going to get it worse than L.A. at this point with this track. L.A. is a little further up the coast, but San Diego is going to have to be really careful. And then the moisture is going to go all inland. This is good, though. It's going to go over those areas where the fires are burning. Unfortunately, I don't think it makes it to British Columbia, which is not good, but it will at least help the fires in the States by getting some tropical moisture in that area. Looking at these models here, it's pretty crazy. Here's your intensity guidance. So a lot of the models do weaken into a Category 3 by tomorrow night, and I think it should, because it's going to be moving into somewhat cooler waters, but it's going to be a slow weakening process. Category 3, Category 2, Category 1, when it's still 36 hours from now. So I still think it could be a Category 1 hurricane when it reaches San Diego, which has never happened before, and something definitely that we need to consider, at least the models, and maybe have a better idea on this storm. They certainly didn't last night. So we're going to look at a couple of models here now that we have. Let's go to the hurricane models, which is the HWRF, right? All right, this is the hurricane model here. All right, so this is we didn't look at this last night, and it kind of moves with the storm, so you can see how it moves with the storm. Keeps it pretty strong. There's Baja coming into view here. It's going along Baja, but then it's actually the hurricane model has it landfalling further north, more toward L.A. So L.A. may not be out of the woods yet. And look at this thing. Look at all the rain that is going to be falling. That's the other thing that we're going to have with this storm. So I'm going to back it up. We're going to look at the wind field on this. This is an actual hurricane model, the HWRF, and we're going to look at the wind field with this. All right, here we go. Back this up. So it does weaken it somewhat. You can see there's the wind field. So it actually spares at least part of Bob, but the northern part might get into it. Come on, move. It does shrink the wind field down quite a bit. I think it's really underestimating this. I don't know what this model is doing. I think it's underestimating, and I don't even agree with it at this point. But we're gonna look at other models here. Let's go to some more of the classic global models here. GFS, obviously, we'll start with them. We're, again, looking at in the hurricane view. All right, so this is Hilary right here. And GFS kind of takes it into Baja. It's very hard to see, but it takes it into Baja, and it just weakens the winds. It's going by history, and I don't think it's going to slow down that much out over the water like that. I don't know. The models just want to just weaken this thing just too quickly, and I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that at all. And they still underestimating it too. The GFS is still underestimating it. So let's go to regions here and look at the Southwest U.S. All right, and I'll put this back to precipitation and moisture so you can see. All right, so this is the GFS here. GFS, and you can sort of see, takes it into... GFS wants to go a little more to the right, and it's a little weaker. Let's look at the European model. And again, the rain's going to start affecting California probably late Saturday night. This is the European, also similar to the GFS, tracking it right along the coast there. But the European keeps that low together and kind of has it right up the coast. Either way, this is a lot of rain. Let's take a look and see how much rainfall the European brings. And I think that's underdone. I think that is underdone. I think it's going to be more rain than that. Sometimes, you're dealing with a situation where the models just still don't have a handle on things. And I think they are continuing to underestimate how bad this is going to be. I think a lot of the areas in the mountains are going to get a foot of rain. All right. So I think this is way, way underestimated. This is, again, the European. Let's go to the GFS, and I'm sure it's even drier than that. GFS looks similar. All right, let's go to the NAM 12. I know these aren't going to take us out all the way. It only goes, 18Z. I don't know how far the NAM 12 is going to take us. NAM 12 is a little more robust with the rainfalls. You see. Let's go look at the. So yeah, NAM is again, and I think it's a little too much to the right. But you can see that is definitely at least a tropical storm, if not a hurricane when it crosses the border. Could still be a hurricane. I still think it could be. And I wouldn't, this is unheard of to see this. That's all I have to say. It really is unheard of. So let's get to our weather now. Change it to regions here. We're going to go back and look at Hilary in a moment. And talk about our weather, which fortunately will be pretty peaceful. No rain chances for us this entire weekend, and pleasant low dew points. You see the northwest winds there? Here's your HRRR, northwest winds to west winds tomorrow. Dew points stay in the 50s, maybe even lower than that. And then as we get towards Sunday, you can see the winds going a little more southwest, west-southwest, and that's going to bring in the heat for your Sunday. Temperatures tonight, I think we're going to drop back to the 55 to 60 degree range. In a lot of places, probably not in my alley, but it'll be maybe low 60s in the warmer areas. And then tomorrow, highs only in the mid to upper 70s, maybe closer to 80 in New Jersey, but that's it. Tomorrow night, probably cool again. And if we get that radiational cooling, it could be well and down to the 50s in the Pine Barrens. And then Sunday, it's going to warm up. You'll see temperatures upper 80s, close to 90 on the HRRR. Let's look at the GFS now, because we always want to look at a couple of models here. So here is the GFS. Here's your Saturday. And again, a little lower with the dew points, maybe even showing some 40-degree dew points, west-northwest winds. And then Sunday, you see the winds still stay westerly. So it won't get humid, but it certainly will be a little bit warmer, a lot warmer, actually. If we look at the GFS, you'll see temperatures will make it probably closer to 90 degrees. Looking at Saturday, you can see plenty nice and comfortable. Cloud cover, not much. Maybe a little bit spills over from the north tomorrow into Long Island. And then for Sunday, we'll be dealing with a little more cirrus, as well as I think we'll be dealing with some smoke as well. Let's look at the RGM. And, yeah, we're going to look at the smoke model, of course. Here is Saturday. And, again, you'll see showing, again, maybe some of those clouds in the north, maybe occasionally spilling over to Long Island. But in that, should be a nice day, and hopefully we won't have the smoke. But Sunday we will, and we'll also have some scattered cirrus around, too. And then for Monday, you'll see that's we're not talking about Monday. We're only covering the weekend here. So let's go to the smoke model, and we'll get back to Hilary, and also our rainfall totals as well. I want to look at that as well. So let's look at the vertically integrated smoke here on the RAP model. And this is it going into tomorrow. You see there's a lot of the smoke in the Great Lakes area, but not for us yet. But as we get towards Sunday, that's when the smoke's going to come in, and there'll be waves of smoke. There's another wave of smoke there that is coming. These fires continue to burn out of control. We're going to look at that in a minute as well. And there could be some near-surface smoke as well. So let's look at that. Let's look at the near-surface smoke model as well here. Tomorrow, it's not showing any, but again, as we head into Sunday, we may have to deal with it, though it doesn't look like it's going to be that thick. But for the Pacific Northwest, the fires in British Columbia, it's going to be bad in Washington State. You can see that. They're going to have some... You can see there's another front there coming through. So, anyway, let's now go to the rainfall totals. I'm at the Wonder Map, right? Wonder Map. Oh, I got to do the climate. That's right. I got to go with the climate, too. All right. Here we go. Ice slip. Pretty much near normal. Just 1 degree above normal for the day. High was 82. We've received nearly 5 inches of rain for the month already. Well, not 5. Well, 4.5 inches of rain, which is well above normal. Let's look at Central Park. 3 degrees below normal there. Yeah, and they're over 5 inches of rain. So it's been quite a wet month. It really has, but it's better than dealing with the dryness and the fires that other areas are dealing with. All right, Wonder Map. All right. Sometimes you get some more numbers in these Wonder Map. Yeah, there wasn't that much in Babylon. I'm surprised because there was some decent puddles there, but it's only showing a 1/4 of an inch there. And the heavier rain was up to the north here. North Shore, it's where you had your higher 1 inch plus amounts there. Okay, now let's go back to the satellite imagery here. This is the Sarah. Let's go back to our North U.S. view so we can talk about the smoke. And you can see, look at all that smoke there. All right, let's first go to this 36. All right. So you can see again all the smoke here that we have that's in the western Canada. And some of it's spilling over into the Great Lakes. You can see that on this satellite. You can also see smoke, lots of smoke in British Columbia. Can't even see Yellowknife right now. There are some clouds, but it looks like there's a lot of smoke there. So let's get started here with the central, the Alaska view first. There's a whole bunch of these that we can look at here. A whole bunch of these views. This one doesn't show us that much. Let's go to the southeastern Alaska one. I think the southeastern one is better. You can see there's a lot of smoke underneath these clouds here in the Northwest Territories. And these fires here, oh yeah, look at that. So if we look at the Pacific Northwest, I think that's going to show us what's going on over here. And this is really, really bad. Yeah, let's get a few more frames here. And you can see you got these fires here, and you can see the thunderstorms popping up. That's dry lightning, and these fires can actually cause pyrocumulus thunderstorms, which don't have much rain and just have lightning, which start new fires. You can see the fires here going in British Columbia here on the satellite. Look at that, right over the border, and some in Washington State too as well. These look pretty bad. Let's see if we can get another view. Maybe Northern Rockies might be better. Nah, it doesn't show us. I need like British Columbia, but they don't have it. I have a Central Alaska one, but this isn't going to show us much. You could see the fires here. You can see them underneath the clouds. You can see there's some in Alaska too. Can't really see the Northwest Territories too much, but definitely could see there's some fires there. Let's see. I really want to get a better view of what's going on over there in British Columbia, because that area is really getting hit very hard. You can see a lot of smoke there. I always thought it was the southeastern Alaska one that gave us British Columbia. You can sort of see here. Yeah, right. You can sort of see here. So let me make this a longer loop here so you can see what's going on. So this is the area of British Columbia that's just exploding right now with wildfires. Many people being evacuated. You see Oregon as well. Oh, there's one over here too, down on Vancouver Island. It looks like. So got another one over here as well. So they're all over the place. Look at this. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy and sickening. Let's go look at the northern U.S. view one more time. And I'm going to just do it with the lightning and see if we can get at least 60 frames out of this. I know last time we tried, it didn't work, but we'll try again. Because anywhere there's lightning, this is going to start more wildfires, and that's the problem that we see. And we see some lightning here with the storm over here. It's not too much in the eastern part of Canada, but you can see the western part is really dealing with a lot of smoke, and Northwest Territories too, dealing with a lot of wildfire smoke there as well. And again, let's go to the Great Lakes view now. And then we got to get back to Hilary. See, I got multiple things going on here. So here's the Great Lakes view, and you can see there's definitely smoke over here. So we'll have one more day, I think, of blue skies, and then we're going to get into this smoke. And there may still be a little bit of haze tomorrow, but this smoke's definitely coming for us on Sunday, I think. And we'll see how bad. This looks pretty thick right now. In fact, I'm kind of curious. Let's go back to the weather at hazards map and see what Chicago is reporting. They're reporting any smoke at the airport. I got to find where the airport is here. All right, Chicago Midway Airport is just saying scattered. 8-mile visibility, so they are getting some reduced visibility there. I'm surprised there aren't any air quality alerts showing up for them. I guess it's mostly aloft, but they could be smelling it at the surface eventually. You do see some reduced visibility, so I think it will get worse over there. Okay, let's go back to talking about Hurricane Hilary. Let's go to Ventu Sky so we can visualize Hilary here. Well, what did I just do? Sometimes it always does this sometimes. All right, Hilary is over here. Let's put in wind gusts mode. All right. And it's still, yeah, all right, finally kind of realistic, giving us a realistic view here. So let's follow this along here on Saturday. So just give us like a graphic representation of what's going on. Here's Saturday night, 10 o'clock. You can see it's off Baja. No effect so far for Southern California, but you can definitely see Baja is definitely dealing with some wind. Move this along to Sunday. All right, 8 o'clock. See, it will pick up because it's going to get picked up by a trough. And you can see here, and again, this is weakening it way too fast. I don't think it's going to weaken that fast. And again, this is using the HRRR model at this point. This model site uses the HRRR. And you can see it kind of goes in and kind of spares Los Angeles here, but to the right of the storm here, you're going to be dealing with some pretty bad stuff. And these are like inland areas. Places like Mexicali and also Yuma, Arizona. And in the foothills, you can see there could still be some pretty strong winds here, perhaps over 100 miles an hour to the west of San Diego. So this is the kind of stuff, again, this is one model here that we're looking at. But let's look at another model, which is windy.com, which uses the European model. So, and again, here is, put this in wind gust mode. All right, so here again is Hilary. All right, I'm going to move this along here. And this is the European model here. So again, it weakens it really quickly. I know that cool water is going to have an effect, but it's not going to be as great of an effect it is. I think by this time tomorrow, I think it'll probably be a Category 2. And then as we get toward, and this is the European again, taking it a little more, again, toward the right, which I don't think it's going to do. And again, the more right it is, the weaker it is. But again, I don't necessarily agree that is the track it's going to take. Let's see if we can. I don't know how far we got out on the NAM here. This is the NAM, all right. And the NAM, I think, is a little more realistic here onto the track and the strength of this. You can see, and this is as much as we got by 2 p.m. We're still dealing with a very strong Category 1 hurricane. Let's look at the waves. Obviously, you're going to have a lot of high surf. You can see already by tomorrow, it's not going to really be affecting Southern California, still confined to Baja. But by Sunday, it certainly will be. And in fact, all along the whole West Coast, we're going to be dealing with this. So there's going to be some high surf as well from this. So, again, we're in a better idea tomorrow night what's going to happen with Hurricane Hilary. Lastly, we're going to go to the MODIS again, and again, look at Hilary right here. And again, look at the smoke. This is over Minnesota, Wisconsin, Chicago. Maybe I should check Wisconsin, see if they're reporting any reduced visibility. And again, can't really see what's going on too much here, but this is what's going on here in the border of Canada, southern British Columbia and Washington. And then we have a huge fire here with a pyrocumulus cloud in British Columbia as well. And these places are being evacuated. I mean, they've evacuated entire towns. Again, seeing this just continuing because of the strong winds, and there could be more dry lightning in that area as well. And then we have a fire on Vancouver Island as well. So yeah, it's absolutely nuts what's happening, and we're going to be dealing with this smoke eventually. You can see where the smoke is coming from, and that's going into the Great Lakes. So let's just look at one more observation here before I wrap this up. Back to the weather and hazards map we go. I just want to look at a few more observations here from this area. I'm surprised there are no air quality alerts. That's what's surprising me. Let's see if anyone else is reporting smoke. Well, 10-mile visibility here. So most of these sites are reporting 10-mile visibility. Look at this. This is not good. This is exactly why we have these warnings in effect. There's a 51-mile-an-hour wind gust. It showed up for a second. Now it's doing the spinning circle thing again, and it doesn't want to show up. Come on. There we go. 51-mile-an-hour wind gust. 88 degrees. Dew point 44. West wind at 24, gusting to 51. This is exactly the kind of weather that's going to give you extreme fire behavior in these, and that's a big problem here. Jordan Airport, northwest wind at 25, gusting to 36, and weather says squalls. So I'm wondering if they're getting a storm over there. We'll have to look at the radar as well in that area as well. This is going to be a very rough time for this area. You can see all the red flag warnings up. And I want to just get some more observations if we can. 79, haze being reported at Sandpoint Airport. I'd like to get some more observations just from these fire. This area right here. Or that is an automatic weather reporting system, so we're not going to see another automatic weather. It's not going to report smoke. 9-mile visibility here at this place, but there are fires burning right around here. Lytton, for instance. It says 1.25 in haze, which is smoke. So this is the kind of weather you're dealing with over here. Let me go to the radar. We'll just check and see what's going on over there with that, and then I'm going to wrap up this weather update. So much to talk about here. You can see there's showers up northern New York. We're not going to have to deal with that. So let's see. It said squalls. I don't see any precipitation. There are some storms over here in Montana. But this is the problem. You have dry lightning. Here's Edmonton. So there's some rain over there. And then here's Yellowknife. And you can see there isn't really any rain over here at all. Not showing any at all. So this is the problem that we have. Let me look at one more model here. Yeah, let me go and look at one more. Go back to this here because we have the RGEM model. And the RGEM model will cover Canada, I believe. You would think it would, but I guess it doesn't. It has Northwest U.S., but it doesn't have Alaska here. It's not really going to help us. All right. I want to kind of use a short-range model here, but... All right. Well, there's the North American, but I don't know if the North American's going to cover Canada either. Well, let's see. Yeah, these are all grayed out. I have Southeast Canada, but we don't have Western Canada. This is what I need. I need Western Canada. They don't have it. All I have is Southeastern Canada. GFS. Probably get more zones on this. Let's see. We have North America. But, yeah, we don't have anything for Canada, unfortunately. Just southeast Canada. Okay, well, we'll look and see what the rainfall is in this area. You'll see what the problem is. So Yellowknife is somewhat up here. Up here. You see, it is showing some light rain, but nothing substantial, and this is the problem. And that is the problem. You can see this here is our heat dome that's going to be sent across the middle of the country next week. But I don't see anything really in the forecast for Yellowknife, and that's the problem as far as rain goes. I want to go to Ventusky here and go back over there. I mean, we're watching two things here that I'm very concerned about. And again, Yellowknife is up here somewhere, and we're going to look at the rainfall, precipitation here. Thunderstorms, obviously. Let's go to precipitation here. Let's see how much rain. So we're showing some light rain. We can change this to tomorrow. Let's see if it's showing some light rain. There's a slight chance of some showers in that area tomorrow. But you can see not much rain really falling here. Not much rain. And one thing you can see is that the winds are strong. So if we go to wind gusts, yeah, we have gusty winds. That's not good. Looks like the winds calm down a little bit in British Columbia tomorrow. But right now they're pretty bad. Today they're pretty bad. Tomorrow they'll calm down. But Yellowknife they're going to pick up. And that's the problem we're going to have here. And that's going to make the situation with these fires worse. And if we go to humidity here, humidity at least isn't too low, but it's still not ideal conditions. But certainly the conditions here in the northwest U.S., we're going to have extreme fire behavior here. So, again, watching these wildfires, let's just take one more look at them. I know the sun is kind of down now at this point, the Pacific Northwest, but actually I'm going to put this loop in here, GLM flash intensity. Look at this. I think these fires might be creating their own thunderstorms. All right, so this is the Pacific Northwest here. Yeah, we actually have, the fires are actually creating their own storms, which is nuts. All right, here's a fire, another fire here. Some thunderstorms here. This is going to set off more thunderstorms, so this is incredible. So that's going to wrap up this weather update. Bad situation as we once again watch multiple disasters taking place just in this continent alone. So thank you for watching and have a good night.